Welcome to WrestleMx. I'm Michael.
And I'm Sally.
Please sit back, relax,
and enjoy our review of Survivor Series WarGames.
After we watch someone developing photos in a dark room, the pictures are of all tonight's superstars, we begin with the Women's WarGames match. Team Rhea, consisting of Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss and AJ Lee, versus Team Asuka, Kairi, Sane, Nia Jax, Lash Legend and Becky Lynch. The match begins with Flair and Asuka with the rest of the women in the back. There is no shark cage holding pen at the entranceway. So it's like a Royal Rumble style entrance.
We get an early walkover handstand and chops from Flair, with Asuka replying with a German suplex and strikes. The pair are then joined by Io Sky, who brings a trash can lid with her and uses it during a bullet train to Asuka. Becky Lynch is out next, bringing a kendo stick with her and taking the fight to Sky. Flair and Lynch then go toe-to-toe with Team Heel on top.
Bliss is out next, dealing with Asuka and Lynch before making sure Flair is okay, with the pair then hitting twin natural selections on Team Heel. Everyone does the Sky, with Kairi Sane then called up. She brings a chain and takes out Flair and Bliss before using the bin lid on Sky. Team Face then get tied up with a chain as Asuka and Sane land twin drop kicks to them.
AJ Lee heads out next, with Lynch holding the cage door shut, but to no avail as Lee climbs the cage, lands a crossbody to Asuka and Sane from the top rope, and then beats the hell out of Lynch. Sane heads over for the save, but is also taken out by Mrs. Punk. All 7 women then mix it up as we await contestant number 8, and we don't have to wait long as Nia Jax heads out.
Jax beats up everyone, even powerbombing Sky, with Team Heel then in control as the last member of Team Rhea heads out. It's Rhea Ripley if you lost count. She brings a trash can and kendo sticks, with Michael Cole informing us that her mask is based on the clown from the TV series Terrifier. Ripley dominates and puts Sane in a bin, with Sky then drop-kicking it.
Last and no means least, Lash Legend, and as soon as she's in the cage, the bell rings and the match officially begins. Legend ragdolls Bliss, chokeslams Flair and tosses Sky aside. Ripley tries to stop Lash but ends up eating a pump kick and covered for 2. Jax and Legend land double powerbombs to Flair and Bliss before throwing Sky from one ring to the other.
Asuka then mists Legend by a mistake, which allows Team Face back in and Sky to jump from the top of the cage with a bin over her, taking out Asuka, Sane, Lash and Jax. This leaves Lynch on her own, who tries to escape the ring, but to no avail, as Flair pulls her down, Rhea riptides her, and Lee locks her in the Black Widow. Of course, Lynch taps out, giving Team Rhea the victory.
Out next, Dominik Mysterio taking on John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. Dom has Rodriguez and Perez alongside. Perez trips Cena, with Raquel also hitting the champ, allowing Dom an early lead. We see the 3 amigos uncover for 2, with Cena easily kicking out. The fight goes to the outside, with Dom once again taking the lead and slamming Cena on the announcer's desk.
Dom then tries a hurricanrana but lands funnily, with the ref then calling for the medic. With the ref distracted, Rodriguez and Perez get in the ring and land a Tahana bomb and pop rocks respectively. Dom then gets up and dives in the ring, landing a 619 and frog splash before going for the cover. But the ref doesn't count it as he's seen what's transpired and sends the women from the ring. Initially, you did think Dom was hurt, because after Penta hurt himself on Raw, he was like, oh no, not again. But he's played us.
Cena runs through his repertoire, lands a 5-knuckle shuffle, and then locks in the STF as Dom escapes the AA. Dom reaches the rope and then undoes his boot, so as Cena grabs his foot, the boot comes off, allowing Dom to land a 619, frog splash, and cover again, but only for 2. As Dom puts his boot back on, Cena gets Dom into an AA, lands it, and covers, but only for another 2.
The pair then exchange yaboos before Cena lands a shoulder tackle to Dom. Cena goes for another one, but Dom ducks, and Cena takes out the ref. Cena then locks in the STF, but there's no ref, so out come JD McDonough and Finn Balor. They attack Cena, but Cena gets his knees up as JD looks for a moonsault and then rolls out the way as Balor tries to land a coup de grace. I thought these weren't all on the same page.
Yeah. Cena then goes old school and lands a double AA to Balor and JD, but this takes its toll with Cena then out of it in the ring. With Cena down, Dom grabs a title, heads back in the ring and runs at Cena as he rises to his feet. Cena ducks the impending attack, AA's Dom, and then beckons for another referee to head out. Instead of a ref, we get Liv Morgan.
And the MVP is back. She gets in the ring, smiles at Dom, and then hits him before jumping on Cena and hugging him. But during the hug, her face changes. She drops to the mat and then kicks Cena in his junk. Cena lands on the middle rope, Dom lands a 619, and Morgan clocks him with the title. Dom then rounds things off with a frog splash and covers the champ. The referee crawls back into the ring, counts the cover, and Dominik Mysterio regains the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, I mean, as I said, like, Judgment Day is supposed to be all like infighting.
It was falling apart.
And now they're all besties.
Liv's back, so they're back together.
So, yes, Liv's back. Love it. She was great. I just hope she picks up from where she left off.
Yeah.
I loved her. Brilliant.
We see a women's WrestleMania vignette with Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan all sitting down for dinner. Before our next match, Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. Bella is straight into Vaquer with the fight then heading outside, where Vaquer takes control.
I wonder why they didn't have Vaquer in the vignette, considering she's a champion. See, the men's, you had Punk and Rhodes.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
As long as you got your champs. So does that mean Vaquer's going to lose the title? And there was a lot of women in that video.
Yeah.
I mean, the men's, what is it, 5?
5.
Whereas the women, there's at least 12. Just like, I think they're just edging the bets, just stick them all in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bella turns things around as we head back into the ring, with Bella landing a snap suplex, a couple of covers and a spine buster. Nikki looks for the Devil's Kiss, but Vaquer counters it and looks to Devil Kiss Nikki, but Nikki avoids it by rolling towards the ropes. Vaquer then lands her own snap suplex and cover for 2, before Dragon Screw leads Vaquer to land her SVB and cover again for 2.
A Meteora is no-sold by Nikki, with the Bella then hitting the Rack Attack 2.0 and getting a 2.0 cover.
Nice.
The fight then continues on the apron before going outside, with Vaquer then performing the Devil's Kiss to Bella on the announcer's desk. Back in the ring, it's all Vaquer, as we have another Devil's Kiss followed by a corkscrew splash and cover, with Vaquer then getting the 3 count and retaining her title. So she should.
I don't think that was ever in doubt,
No.
really. The turn was too quick. Let's see if that's put it to bed and we can move on from that.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, last match of the night, the men's WarGames. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos and Roman Reigns versus the Vision, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. I did notice that this didn't have a specific team leader. You had Team Rhea against Team Asuka, whereas this is just men versus men. Punk enters the ring by climbing over the cage with his opponent Braun Breaker entering via the door. Punk balks like Braun after landing a heel kick, with the fight then going the way of Braun before the next participant enters the fray in the shape of Drew McIntyre.
Punk and Drew go at it as Punk tossed Breaker into the cage just before the Scottish Warrior came out. It doesn't last long though, as the numbers game plays its role as Punk is claymored and then taken apart by Team Heel. Out next, Cody Rhodes, with Drew trying to keep the cage door shut. Rhodes climbs the cage and leaps, landing a crossbody to Drew and Cody cutter to Braun, before elbowing Punk by mistake as Punk approached Rhodes from behind. Punk is also busted open, by the way.
Not by Rhodes,
No.
just previously. Drew is double teamed, a heart attack. If you know, you know. With Braun then suffering a doomsday device. Again, if you know, you know. Braun lands awkwardly, with the faces concentrating on Drew while Breaker takes a minute and the cameras were away from Braun. So he did land a little funny on the back of his head / neck. Drew suffers a bionic elbow from Punk, with Logan Paul then heading out. Paul pulls 2 chairs from under the ring before getting in and taking out Punk.
Paul and Rose then climb to the top of the cage and duke it out before Breaker hits Cody's leg with a chair as the heels regain control, with Punk suffering a vertical suplex from Paul and McIntyre. Jimmy's out next and he brings in a table. Super kicks Drew, Samoan drops Paul and lands Uso in the wind to Breaker and Paul before Drew puts him down with a claymore.
Breaker Frankenstein's Rhodes with things pretty even as we await the next soldier, Bronson Reed. He gets in and then tsunamis Punk, Jimmy and Rhodes with the heels firmly in control. Jimmy deals out some super kicks but is soon stopped by Reed, with Jay then heading out to even up the odds. You didn't think it was going to be Roman yet, did you?
The Usos double super kick Braun, Reed and Drew before 1D'ing Paul. We then get treated to a rerun of Jay's entrance music, with the faces then regaining control. The fun doesn't last long as Brock Lesnar enters the match, accompanied by Paul Heyman.
What, Heyman got in the ring?
Yeah. Lesnar suplexes everyone before F5ing Jimmy, Punk, Rhodes and Jay. Not that he needs to, but Lesnar then uses a chair on Jay and Rhodes before the final man enters the war.
Roman Reigns. Brock leaves the ring to face off against Reigns, with Reigns landing 3 Superman punches before Lesnar catches Roman as he goes for a 4th. Reigns gets dumped through the Spanish announcer's desk and is then tossed around the outside before the pair get in the ring and the match begins. Roman suffers an F5 before being covered for 2 as Rhodes makes the save.
Lesnar then suffers a GTS and crossroads before being covered by both men, only to be saved by a splash from Logan Paul. Paul then asks Heyman for his brass knuckles, with Logan then using them on Rhodes and Jimmy. He lines up Reigns, but Reigns lands a spear before he takes the brass knuckles and Superman punches Reed and McIntyre with them. Breaker then looks to deal with Reigns, but he's a spear from the OTC.
Lesnar is next for a Superman punch, with Jay holding the beast in place, but Roman takes too long, so Brock readies Jay for another F5. Before he can land it though, Reigns spears Lesnar through a table that was set up previously in the corner. Braun then spears Jimmy, Jay and Rhodes before lining up Punk, but Punk dodges it and sets up Breaker for a GTS. Paul saves Braun, but then suffers the GTS himself.
Punk covers with Paul kicking out on 2, but as he does, a hooded figure climbs into the cage, kicks Punk and then stomps him, before climbing back up and out of the structure. Barrett was alluding to it being Seth, but I very much doubt it, unless they make out it's Seth in the long run. I don't think it's going to be him.
Know.
But anyway, Braun takes advantage, lands a super spear to Punk and then covers him, picking up the victory for his team. After the match, Reigns helps up Punk before fist pumping him and then has a few words with Rhodes as the show comes to a close.
See, nobody said it was Seth, apart from Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
But then obviously as soon as the stomp was landed, you're like,
You're going to think it's him, but
I don't think
you're waiting for that reveal, but it weren't there.
No, I was. He was like, oh, but there was nothing.
No.
And he was fully masked up because Punk and Breaker both looked at him and they both were like, neither of them showed any happiness as if they were helping either, if this person was helping either team. And Braun was possibly like, oh, it's Seth. But you never saw the face. The person was back out of the structure. They didn't have the posture as Seth, so it wasn't him. But they might make it out to be him going forward, but unless it's somebody new that's coming along. But Punk and Braun sold it like neither smiled and they were just both like, oh, so I don't know.
No idea.
Liv Morgan back, brilliant.
Yeah, love that. Glad she's back.
Love the double AA from Cena. Had to get the 2 smallest guys to be able to do it. I don't think you'd be able to do it to anybody bigger these days.
Very true, yeah.
But I actually enjoyed this. You didn't need a ton of matches.
No.
The 4 was spot on. The weakest one was the women's match, not because it wasn't good, it was just that the other 3 had something extra to it.
So
the
much
women's
happened,
was
yeah.
just a standard woman on woman.
And
That
you
was
knew
it.
who was going to win, really. It's very unlikely that Nikki
True.
was going to win.
True.
So it's just a given.
Whereas the Cena and the Dom one, it wasn't just them. You had all of Judgment Day coming out.
Yeah.
Plus the return of Liv Morgan, which
Exactly.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the WarGames, well, they're just 2 standalone matches on their own.
Yeah.
They're a gimmick match. They are, but They're brilliant.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
you
then
got your people coming out at your different times, which is brilliant. They
exactly.
even things up, and then
you've got your mystery man coming in.
Seth.
Look, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and if you enjoyed our coverage, then please give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. But whatever you choose, thank you for watching.
And hopefully we'll see you Tuesday for Raw.